Right, people, it's been a year since I sat here and did the little introduction video as to what was happening and what I was doing in this very seat, talking about taking over what was known at the time as District V Fitness, now known as Process Driven Fitness. We obviously rebranded in August now. We're coming up to exactly a year to the day. So today is Thursday, 2nd of January. We just celebrated a new year, 2025 now. We sat here, I can't remember the exact date, but it would have been pretty much around this date. We officially took over the place in January the 12th, 2024. So we're coming to the year, and I thought we might as well do a little bit of a yearly recap, since it is a new year and it is coming up to a year of me owning a gym, and obviously just recapping everything that's happened. A lot has happened this last year. Firstly, apologise for the lack of social media, well, YouTube content really, because I have been quite busy. I've been doing a few videos here and there, but it's been a mad year. It's been a lot busier than just being a self-employed personal trainer and online coach. But there's so many lessons that 2024 has brung to my life, and I would love to share them with you, hence the video. So hopefully I actually do get this edited and out within like the next few weeks. Otherwise it kind of doesn't really fit well with, I think, the new year sort of thing. But I've wrote down 5 little things here in terms of what I've learned over the course of not only 2024, probably the biggest year of my life, but also owning a gym for a year. But I want to just go through the entire year, kind of what happened. So December 2023, right at the end, I was a little bit poorly actually. I was meant to be doing some sort of 10,000 calorie eating and burning challenge. That was my plan. But then I got really ill for like a week and a half, 2 weeks over Christmas last year. And during that time, there was a few rumours around that there was a gym up for sale in the local area. Anyway, I ended up going to have a look at it. And within like 2 days, we kind of shook hands and agreed that it was going to happen. I think I can't remember if I mentioned it in the old video, but in 2023, at the end of the year, as I was kind of assessing my goals for the new year, as we all should really do, just kind of look at, well, what we want to achieve out of the next year, I wrote down in my diary, first thing that I wrote down was, say fuck it to more things, excuse my language, and just do it. Just do things. If there's something that you want to do, just go and book it, because there's never really been something different that I've tried that I haven't regretted trying, if that makes sense. So weird thing was, 2 days later, this thing came around, and it was the perfect opportunity to stick to that first thing that I wrote down, say fuck it and just go for it. So yeah, we took over this place. I was shit scared, absolutely terrified, had no like I don't know, like previous experience with like owning something this big. Didn't know if I was going to be any good at it. When we did all the paperwork stuff and like looking at just everything behind the scenes of a business, of a gym, running a gym, the financial side, the setups, like everything, very, very overwhelming. And I very much doubted myself. You got that imposter syndrome straight away. And I felt so small compared to like when I was doing my self-employed PT stuff. I was comfortable. I was doing good hours. I had a good client base. Like I could have kept on doing that. Like I was very happy with what I was doing, but I was 26 at the time. And I knew that I had potential for more, even if I was already doing okay, if that makes sense. So yeah, so the opportunity came. Pretty much ended up like taking it over probably like 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, so like I said, the 12th of January. And then from then it was just chaos. Obviously very intimidating. Going into, it was already a gym environment, it was already set up, there was already a client base, a membership base, there was already a little bit of a small community within the gym. So stepping into someone else's shoes, it's kind of like, it's a lot of pressure in terms of just like, you don't want to let the people down. Sorry if you hear Bart in the background. Lola is currently on the beanbags next to me. Sorry, I had to pause it there. She started barking at nothing. Anyway, so yeah, it was very intimidating going into that environment, and like I just wanted to make sure that obviously you want people to like you, but you want the owner of someone else's gym. I felt like it wasn't my gym at the time. Like even though it was my business, it didn't feel like it was. You want to just make a good impression at the end of the day. You want to make sure people are on your side, they're buying into your philosophies, they're buying into like what you want to do to the gym. And obviously previously it had its own ways of running, and there was things that I wanted to change and bring my own spin on it. which is very risky, obviously, just doing that. Like, to be fair, to start off with, I kind of kept things going as they were and just changed a few things and just slowly started to add things in over time. Obviously, at the time, I was competing in High Rock, so that was something that I added in. I added it in on like a Sunday, so there wasn't any Sunday classes at the time. On a Sunday, I added the High Rocks class. And one of the great things was people really took to it well. They loved it, so we added it in on a Wednesday. That was one thing, like, sort of thing that I did. So I slowly phased things in. In terms of the training methodology, it was a CrossFit gym previously, or a functional fitness gym previously. I kept a lot of that. I looked at what the old workouts were, some of the things that seemed to go well, asking members what went well. And I kept bits in, but adding in my own sort of stuff. So my background's obviously football, very much strength and conditioning. I did a phase of bodybuilding, but I've had a lot of injuries. And I did click on straight away that a lot of the members had niggles, lower backs, elbows, shoulders, knees, typical things that you do get with functional fitness and CrossFit. So I wanted to add in a lot more unilateral stuff. As much as people hate split squats, they were in the program, I think, within like the first 4 weeks. People complain about them, but obviously they're a great exercise to put in for single leg unilateral strength, working on those imbalances. So there was things that I added in that people might not have done before, which was obviously a bit scary, but I believed in it, which is one thing, like that sort of methodology and taking a step back from just going in and like back squatting, doing like heavy weights and everything has to be these big compound lifts, stripping things back a little bit and looking at the smaller movements and adding some prehab stuff in. Obviously making fitness fun at the same time, but also making sure we're ticking boxes that we need to be ticked to make sure people have longevity in fitness, which is what we want. We don't want people to be great at fitness for 5 years. We want people to have a long sustained fitness career, as it is, be able to play with the grandkids and be mobile and be flexible and stuff, which is again something that we've added in down the line, like Pilates, flexibility, mobility and stuff. So yeah, we phased it in very slowly. Anyway, so where are we up to? So January, kind of just kept things ticking over. It was very busy, very stressful. I was I was starting to feel what actual burnout felt like, which had obviously been busy in the past, but this was a different sort of busy because of the additional stress it does take it out on you. I had to sacrifice my own training for a little bit, as I found out when I tried to still do High Rocks Manchester Pro race, which was the end of January last year. I cramped up within like 2 stations, which is not like me. I had a horrendous race. I think I nearly did a 1 hour 10, so 109 something. So it wasn't my best experience, but I had a ticket. I just thought I'd do it and see where I was at. But yeah, that soon taught me that you can't always balance everything, and you can't get away with like shite training pretty much and try and do a High Rocks. Anyway, moving down the line, we had a coach previously who was working here. We ended up going our separate ways in terms of that. So I was left on my own. It was just me. Obviously, Bryony was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well. She always has been. She's been great with that. But I was coaching everything. And this was a very tough period. But if you're starting a business, there's going to be a tough period, especially that first year. There's going to have to be. I knew it was going to have to be. But what I tried to do was balance my own training and running the business on my own at the same time. So it was a couple of weeks after, it was 2 weeks after High Rocks Glasgow. So I did High Rocks Glasgow, which I've mentioned what happened there, which wasn't the best race ever. Obviously after Manchester, I kind of was like, right, I need to focus on my running, need to get this, that and the other, get my strength work sorted. So I was working with a strength coach at the time. Training was going well in terms of that, my strength side of things. I felt like I was running well, but I was just burnt. I was cramping up loads in training. I was putting the effort in, but wasn't getting the results on the other side. Anyway, I did High Rocks Glasgow. Stupidly had a full platter Nando's the night before. Ate way too much. Didn't have caffeine for 2 weeks prior to the race. Did the race. Had a ABE shot like half an hour before the race. And a combination of all them things left me with a very, very upset stomach. Let's just say I pretty much pooed my pants on the rower. But I managed to like nearly get a PB. But anyway, finished that race. And that really, really frustrated me because I knew I'd qualified for Nice. And that was in June. So I had like 2 or 3 months to really get my head down and work. And I wanted to do well, obviously, because it's almost like I'm representing this brand. And if I'm a gym owner, I want to be performing well and showing. It's almost like advertising for the gym in the sense of I'm doing that. That was where my mindset was at. So this 3-month period between High Rocks Glasgow, me doing all the coaching on my own and leading up to High Rocks Nice, the World Championships, and also our wedding, which was 2 weeks prior to Nice. So we had our wedding as well coming up, which was a lot to cram into one space at a time. So yeah, taking over a gym and getting married in the same year. So yeah, it was a mad 12 weeks. I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning. I would come in. On a Monday, I would do an interval session, about like an 8x1K, built up to. I would coach the 6 a.m. class, the 7 a.m. class. I'd have a 8:30 client. I'd do a 9:30 a.m. group. I'd have a 10:30 client, 11:30 client. Sometimes I have a 12:30 client. I'd go home, have a quick nap, drop the dog off, feed her, come back, probably have a 10-minute nap at lunchtime, neck and energy drink, come in, train for an hour and a half. Then I would have a 3:30, 4:30 client, do the 5:30 p.m. groups, the 6:30 p.m. groups, quickly go home, get some food, go to bed, and do the same thing again. It was stupid. Well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would get up at 3:30 and train. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I didn't. I would just train once that day, just to give myself some recovery. But yeah, I was doing crazy. That's the most I've ever worked. And I could just solely feel myself like burning out, like just phasing away. But I was just so obsessed with, I need to get, this is what it's like, this is that, I just kept saying, well, this is what it takes to get to that level, to run a business and be an athlete. Because you see so many people do it now. They're like business owners, like Ollie Marchand, for example. He's got Marchand and he's a good athlete. He's doing ultra endurance stuff. He's doing loads of things and looking in great shape. Like, it's got to be possible. It must be. But yeah, I ended up doing that for a long time, a bit too long. And it got to about, well, luckily, we kind of found Tom, obviously, who's now our coach, Tom Smith. We kind of found him towards the end of that, and we were waiting for him to finish his uni degree before he came in properly. So I was dying. His dissertation getting pushed back. I was like, Tom, just get it done and get yourself in, because I need the help here anyway. But yeah, pretty much I burnt out. I just completely burnt out. The thing that really triggered the kind of the burnout was I lost my grandma. And that really hit me more than I thought, but I think it was a combination of me being completely burnt out, overdoing it way too much, not sleeping enough, not getting enough recovery, overtraining, overworking. I just crumbled at that point. I had like a 2 or 3 week spell where I did break down a little bit, and obviously it was right before our wedding, which is not the best timing at all to have a bit of a breakdown. But I just, like, the doubt really crept in even more then. Like, can I do this? At this point, I hadn't rebranded, and I knew I had the rebranding to come after the wedding. That was the plan. It was a bloody tough period, that was. It was a really tough period. And like 2 weeks prior to the wedding, I kind of just, like, I took a couple of days off training, trained once a day. I just did what I wanted. Like, I'll just run, like, most of the time. I would just do whatever I fancied. So one day, I remember I just went for like a 12K run, came in, did a load of skiing, wall balls, burpees and rowing for like literally I did like a 2-hour AMRAP just to try and like escape things almost a little bit, which I think that's what I was using training as for a short period of time, was like an escape from the stress, because you get that little bit of a dopamine hit from it. And it was a short-term escape, but it wasn't sustainable, and I was almost like dreading training. So I do a high rock sim every single Friday. And I would dread it. I'd be nervous for it the whole time, but I'd finish it. And obviously, you know what it's like when you finish a high rocks, you get that like dopamine hit because you've been through hell for an hour. It's almost like if you bang your head off the wall for like 24 hours and then you stop, you're going to be like, oh, that feels nice, doesn't it? Like, you're going to get that sort of feeling. So that's kind of what training ended up becoming. So anyway, got through that phase. Gym was actually, it was going all right, to be fair, considering I was doing it on my own. I think members could see I was working hard, which I think helped. And obviously Tom came in, Tom was great. And the high rock side of things was doing really well, so we're getting people who were interested in coming to train for high rocks. And then obviously we had our wedding. Wedding went amazing, went away for the mini moon. First session back after the mini moon. I'd done my back in like a week out before Nice, like completely done it in. Somehow managed to get myself fit and go to Nice, and Nice was a disaster. Like, I had a horrendous race. I felt horrendous going into it. Just mentally, I didn't want to do it. I had no motivation to do it. I think because I just burnt myself out and I was just sick of training. I was sick of high rocks. I was sick of wall balls. I was sick of killing myself. And I finished with a time, I think my PB at the time was a 1:08.52. I finished like a 1:08.30 something. And I was like, all of that work that I've put in, then 3:30 a.m. wake-ups for 20 or 30 seconds in a high rocks. I'm like, what's the fucking point of, what is the point? Like, I feel like I trained and worked harder than anybody else, like, the last 3 months, and all I got was that. And if you're looking at the pros, I'm like an hour and 2 minutes off being like an elite 15 athlete. Like, I'm like, what's the point? So like, I just kind of like sacked training off for a little bit. I remember coming back after Nice, the first 2 weeks back, and I remember I was going to be going for a run with Logan, one of the other lads at the gym. So what actually happened was I was meant to go for a run for him. I was driving to the gym, pulled in a lay-by, and we just burst into tears for no reason whatsoever. I just hadn't, I just didn't want to do it. I don't know why. It just happened. I just lost that love for training completely. Just texted him saying, "Look, mate, I'm just not ready for this." So, yeah, just complete. That was the tough period. Now this is where it gets good. There is positives. Honestly, having a gym isn't that bad for some things. Anyway, on the up now. So after that period, I just said to myself, right, let's focus on the gym. Let's focus on this rebrand. So for myself, training wise, I just did the gym programming. I joined in what the members were doing. I would run for the fun of it. I would just do zone 2 stuff. So I did 1 month. I did run 8K every day for 30 days or whatever it was. Just nothing hard. Like if I didn't fancy doing something hard, I'd go and do like an easy run or some bodybuilding. I did the gym programming. I was training with Tom. I was training with people every single day, and I wasn't just locking myself in this little bubble thinking that was the best thing to do, like I was before my niche prep. I was just enjoying things a lot more. Focused on that for a bit. Ended up like running a marathon just around Morpeth around here, first ever one, which is the last 5K, and I burst into tears just because I didn't think it was going to be that hard. Because the week leading up to that, me and Tom did a high rock sim. Then I did a 5K PB. I did all my 1 rep maxes. I did a 2K ski PB. And then I did a marathon the following day. So like 4 days in a row of just horrendous training. That was before the honeymoon anyway. But like I was just enjoying the process of things again, which I'll talk about in a second. Like hence why we rebranded the gym to process-driven fitness. It's something like my podcast is called Process. It's something that I've always trusted in. And if you don't love the process that you're doing, you're not going to sustain it. Hence what happened to me. And I ended up going back to that motto of enjoying the process. I just stripped back at the time what I thought was the right thing was graft, work hard, run yourself into the ground. That's not sustainable. I backed off and did things that I enjoyed. And one thing that really kept me going was the members around here. The members are amazing. And joining in with them at the odd session and seeing, doing the program that they're doing, even like focusing more on their satisfaction rather than my own satisfaction really helped. And then the love for my training, the love for my job, the love for my work came back. We rebranded. We have a good group of coaches and people within our gym who helped us paint the walls, change the gym layout round, get the branding right. Like having that little circle, again, something I'll talk about in a second, really helped. So yeah, if you do go through a period where you are burning out, sometimes you have to take that little bit of a step back and reassess. And I didn't have that step back until I got to the point where I just burnt out completely. So yeah, that probably takes us up to like the honeymoon. We rebranded, like I said, August. The honeymoon was in September. Tom and Logan smashed it while I was away. I had 2 weeks away. Nice actual switch off time. And then since then, yeah, it's been pretty good. We've obviously had lots of high rocks as Birmingham. We've had another Manchester. We've had London. And members of, obviously, it's the first time we've had members really competing, representing the gym. We've got their pictures on the wall. We've got Tom and Logan's flags from their races, been absolutely buzzing with their results. We've got people now online who are competing for us. I got a PB. I actually had a decent race. In my preparation for, I did the Birmingham race. Literally is a bit of fun. Like I didn't even train for it really. I had a foot injury, so I didn't really run that much. But I went and did an open race for a bit of fun. Actually enjoyed the race. And then I had London about 6 to 8 weeks later, whenever it was. And my prep for that was a completely different approach. It was, again, doing a process that I enjoy, not killing myself with training. One big thing I've learned with training, you don't have to redline it all the time. I was looking a lot at the Norwegian wet method and threshold training and keeping that heart rate below that sort of 85% mark. I was doing loads of threshold work, just getting mileage in, a lot more zone 2. So my threshold runs, my running, I'm not really letting my heart rate go above 170 beats per minute. So I wasn't pushing it anywhere near as much as I was previously when I was just going for like, right, if it's an 8x1K, I'm getting as fast as I can for it. This time, if I'm doing an 8x1K, I was just going up to threshold, even if my pace was 10 seconds per kilometre slower. I would stick at that pace, I'd recover, and it was something sustainable. Like I found a process that I enjoyed and that was sustainable. And my result in London was a lot better. 105.40, I think. So like a 3-minute PB from enjoying my training more and not killing myself. Probably training just as many hours, but most of it was like stuff I enjoyed and a lot more zone 2 stuff, like the stuff that you can recover from, you can sustain rather than battering yourself. So there's a big lesson learned. And yeah, since then, gym's completely changed. Things are going good. Just things are a lot more settled now, and I've found a routine that I can sustain. Just that I have to go through that period of I didn't have to go through it, but I think going through it now has made me learn a lot of things. Which brings me on to these 5 points I've got wrote down. So things that I've learned over the last year. You've probably got a lot of messages from that, so I can't waffle, so apologies. The first one is take risks and back your future self. So what I mean by back your future self is when you know there's an opportunity to do something that does intimidate you a little bit, that is a little bit scary, but you know that deep down there is a part of you that's like, well, that'd be pretty cool to do that, or I want to do that. Just trust in the person that's going to go and do that. Trust that person that in 6 months' time that, yes, it's going to be tough for a few months, but that you're going to get through that. Like, always back the future you to get through things, even if it does seem intimidating. Because if you put yourself in a scenario that's tough and there's only one way out, you're going to find a way out. Like, you're going to get yourself through it. So like me with the gym, I took the plunge to take on the gym. Didn't really know if it was going to pay off. I just said to myself, look, if it doesn't pay off, like, I've wasted a bit of money. I can go back to doing what I was doing, as much as it will be a bit shit and a bit hard to take. But just back it, just try it. Just put yourself in the deep end. And if you've got a passion for something and a drive for something, you will figure it out. Which brings it on to the next point, is the best way to learn is to try things. And if you fail, you learn. Like, throw yourself in the deep end. If I went and took this plunge, which again, I'm only like a year into business, like things could go tits up the next year. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'd rather go into something and give it a go and fail than not give it a go at all and regret not doing it. Because there's always that what if. Because one thing that I always think about is when I'm on my deathbed, I want to look back and think, right, I've at least tried everything that I wanted to do. There wasn't something that I was like, oh shit, I wish I did that. But I had the opportunity to do it, but I just didn't do it. Why didn't I do that? I don't want that regret. So just make sure you put yourself in those scenarios, and you'll learn on the spot. I know there's a lot of business mentors and people these days who are like, follow my program and like, whatever it is. Like, it is good to learn from other people, but I think there's no bigger value in lessons. There's no bigger lesson than going through something yourself and learning it yourself. You don't get the same emotional impact. You don't feel what it's like to fail at something if someone tells you that you're doing something wrong. Like, if someone said to me, oh, I don't buy that bit of equipment, it's going to be a waste of money, and I've done it in the past and nobody's going to use it, but I, in that moment, think that's the best thing to do, I feel like I need to go and do it, buy that bit of equipment, see if it's going to work, and if it doesn't work, feel the emotions of the failure, so I then don't go and do it again, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I think it's always important to go through some failings yourself, rather than someone say, oh, you probably shouldn't do that. But again, it also is good to have a mentor and probably say, don't spend £5,000 on that bit of equipment. You're going to waste your money, and you're probably going to save yourself some money. But I always believe, put yourself in the scenarios, and you will learn from the mistakes, or it could pay off and it could go really well. You never know. Next one, you can't do everything at once. It's all a process. Everything's a process. You're going to have a billion different tasks to do, and it's going to seem you need to do them all at once, but you've only got 24 hours in a day. You've just got to tick the important ones off, get them done. Anything else you get done in that day is a bonus. Hit your big three, hit those main 3 ones, and then you'll always be moving forward. As long as you keep on hitting those even the top 20% of your tasks, if you hit those tasks, your business or yourself is going to keep on moving forward. If you procrastinate and start doing one task and then do a little bit of another task, a little bit of another one, a little bit of another one, but never get anything done, you're going to go either stay still or go backwards. So just prioritize certain things and kind of clear your head from all the other tasks that maybe you do have to do at some point, and focus on certain ones, get them done, and move on to the next. Which I've learned with like emails and obviously messages and things, big projects we can do in the gym. There's a million things we could do. It's easy to get excited, especially when you just start a business, but just focus on the basics, get the basics done, keep moving forward, and then these other side things, when you have a bit more time to do them, that's when you can focus on them. Next one is find your reason or find your purpose, and alongside that, your circle will soon follow. So in terms of finding your purpose and finding your reason, I think when you do find your purpose or thing that makes you want to get out of bed each morning, that's when real life starts to happen. And once you do find that, whatever it is, like for me, it's my fitness and my family. fitness-wise, like having something to train towards, like gives me a reason to get up in the morning, and I'm lucky I can make a career out of it. But it's just, you need to just pursue things. And I always think to myself, like, do I really need to spend all these hours training? Do I really need to like train for Hyroxes? Like, I'm a business owner. Like, I should just focus on the business. But me training for something is part of my business. It is me. If I didn't have that, would I have the motivation to just run a business? Like, if I was just an office 9-to-5 work, or just if I was just on my computer all day trying to grow a business, this, that, and the other, I don't think I'd have the passion for that, because I didn't have my fitness alongside of it. So me focusing on my process of my own fitness journey, they're almost like on the same tracks of me growing the business that I've got at the minute, if that makes sense. Again, I can easily go off tangents here, but you've got to have your reason, and if you can make a career out of your purpose and your reason to keep on going, then you are winning at life. That is success to me. If you can live a life that you are happy with, it doesn't have to make you loads and loads of money, just enough to get by. If you're having a life of happiness and fulfillment, you've got a purpose to get up every morning, that's success. Fuck the money. Like, make enough money to live and have food on the table and feed your family and have a roof over your head. Brilliant. Spend time with friends. Excellent. You've succeeded. You don't need Ferraris and fancy holidays and stuff. Like, they're great, but sustained happiness is from the everyday little things, everyday little wins that make you happy. And then about your circle will follow. If you're on your own path and you're pursuing something, people are going to end up following you who are also on the same journey, and then you're going to make relationships and friends. Like, having a gym, we're all on the same mission to better ourselves. That's why people are here, and that will bring fulfillment and bring your circle around. So I'm lucky to have like Logan, Tom, everybody. We might not be on the exact same path, but we're going in the same direction, and you'll go further together than on your own. And then the last one is kind of to do with what I just said before. So be content and strive for more. I put a great Instagram post on the other day. It was my dad's speech at my wedding with also Bryony's dad, Jason's speech put together. Look at it. If not, I might put it at the end. But be content and strive for more. We're always constantly chasing things. I think these days everyone's chasing more. But just sometimes take a step back and realise how far you've come. And we don't always need to be chasing for more. I think there's times where we can just back off and just take things in. Keep a certain level, but then go again. I think Christian Guzman's got the old quote of proud but never satisfied. Like, be proud of what you've achieved, who you are, how far you've come, but having that drive to keep moving forward is what keeps you waking up every single day. So I think I might just wrap it up there, to be fair, because I think my camera's about to die, to be fair. I'm so bad at remembering to charge this camera. Let's just check it. I've got 10 minutes left anyway, but yeah, I hope this has been beneficial for you. I thought I'd just waffle for a little bit and just review the year. It's been an amazing year. We've took over the gym. We've had a major meltdown, a minor meltdown. Nearly pooed my pants during the Hyrox. Then got married to my best friend. It was a great day. Lucky to have her, very lucky to have her. Then we failed at Hyrox Nice, learnt a big lesson. That was a massive lesson, that entire process. Built myself back up. I was also best man at my best mate's wedding, which I can't wait to see the best man speech. Me and Rory were quite proud of myself for that one. Had the holiday, holiday of a lifetime, really well, what actual honeymoon, and just a complete switch off and like a little bit of escape, which I think is important to have. You need your little escapes as much as you shouldn't be escaping life for like drinking, partying and stuff. I don't think holidays should be a complete escape, but there should be a chance to step back and reflect. That's what I would say, and I needed that. I remember just flying out to Whitby for that first time, and we were just reflecting on the last few months, what we'd done and stuff. It was a good feeling. You need that little bit of a reset. But yeah, and then at the end of the year, we've had Hyroxes, we've had gym competitions. That was another good moment. The rebrand gym competition was like reflecting on the last few months. It was like, we're doing all right here. We're doing something right, at least, and I hope the members in the community agree. We're on the up, and I'm excited to see what the new year holds and the future. So finishing the year strong, starting 2025 off nicely. I'm excited to see what happens. If anybody wants to come down to the gym, have a little look at the links in the description for like joining our online programming, join the gym. If you want to join the gym, come in. It's dog friendly as well. Got Lola in here. You can bring your dogs in as long as they're well behaved. Don't be on the floor. Join the community, follow on Instagram, social media. And yeah, just going to wish you all the best for the new year. And if anybody has any questions, then emails and Instagrams and stuff are down below. I'll happily answer any, and I'll try and get some more content out. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video / podcast. What a year it's been, eh? Right, I'm going to get a session in now, get the caffeine downers, and get smashing it. I'll see you next time. Over now.
Tony Robbins, anyone know Tony Robbins?
Yes.
Yeah, anyone? Tony Robbins? A life coach back in the day, back in the 80s. He's still going, I think he's still looking for business now. But Brendan says it now, but that's what you do. Surround yourself with good family, good friends, right? You do that, you'll succeed in life. Life isn't a steady sort of ship, right? It's a bumpy road, right? But if you've got plenty of friends, good friends, family, right, and you've got a good woman behind you, you get through anything.
Love, laugh, cry, be honest, be curious, live life together, strive, but be content. Aim for all of this, and Bryony Brendan, your future together will be unstoppable.